Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Johnny Page, and I'm the co-director of programs and partnerships at ConTextos. And I want to welcome you all to Dear Chicago, Men of Iman Speaks. Tonight, we celebrate and lift up the voice of authors who share their authentic voices as experts in the Chicago experience. 2020 has been a difficult year, and due to COVID, we are a small group representing a powerful circle. Today, we honor the truth, the bravery, and talent of IMAN Authors. Welcome all.
Welcome.
Lisa.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Kenner. I'm co-director with my partner, Johnny Page, of Programs and Partnerships for ConTextos. We are thrilled that you are here this evening. ConTextos is a space where we co-create opportunities for human beings to do what we have done for thousands of years, is to connect, reflect, and share our truths and our stories. ConTextos started 10 years ago in El Salvador, and 4 years ago, we blossomed here in Chicago. This is our third IMAN Author Circle, and we are thrilled to be here in partnership with so many stars in the constellation. We know that geography does not define community, and here we are, unbound, untethered by even the most extreme conditions that we can face here in Chicago 2020. In Author Circle, traditionally we come together, we literally physically sit around and we read, we write, we draft, we share. And at the end of the journey, we publish books of memoirs, of transformative moments, of authors speaking their own truths. What's been so different this year is that we have faced multiple pandemics at the same time. And as we started our very first session together in person in the warm space of IMAN on 63rd Street, coronavirus hit, and instantly we were plunged into the unknown. And we moved from physical circle, reading and writing memoirs together, into the virtual unknown, where we all faced and navigated extraordinary experiences and situations. So now, this is a very different experience for all of us. This is a different publishing event. Often in our publishing events, we would be together eating, feeding our minds and souls and bodies, authors reading from pages of the books, authors signing the books, a celebration in person. This evening, we are online together, and we have a small team of individuals who are reflecting the mighty power of our entire circle. While so many things have changed, what remains consistent are our Author Circle values, forged 4 years ago in Division 10 of County. These Author Circle values call us to be brave, to expand our comfort zone, to seek to embrace our own truth and our own growth. So this evening, we are thrilled that you are here with us together. Know that there are some authors that you will see on the screen in the panel, and there are many authors you will be hearing from or seeing or loving on in the chat. And there are authors far and beyond, but we are representing our collective of stars across the constellation. So we welcome you, are grateful that you're here. Dimitri, what should we know about what to expect this night?
Thank you, Lisa. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dimitri, one of the Author Circle facilitators and a media producer. I was honored and privileged to have the opportunity to work on the full-length video with our IMAN authors and the rest of our team. 2 of those authors are here representing the rest of their cohort. I just want to talk to you a little bit about how tonight's going to flow. We are not watching the entire video in its entirety. Hopefully, when you registered for this event, you received a link to view it on our YouTube page. Tonight, we are going to play just a couple of short clips from the video, after which each of our authors will have an opportunity to talk about it and expound on the ideas that they shared in those clips. In order to help things move smoothly, we're asking that if you have not double-checked that you are muted, that your microphone is muted, that you do that now. We are going to spotlight and highlight our hosts and authors this evening. Of course, the chat function can be used for praise and agreement and hallelujahs, but also to ask questions. And we do hope that you enter those questions in the chat so that we can get to you, we can answer them, and hopefully even have our authors answer them a little bit later in the program. We hope that you have a great evening. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce or have our authors introduce themselves. Jamel and then Yassine, would you mind introducing yourselves and then sharing with the audience what you hope that the audience gets from viewing Dear Chicago, the Men of Iman Speak.
Okay, so first and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge and congratulate those that's not, physically in the space right now, the authors who took part in this journey with me. My name is Jamel Smaller in the author circle and poetic spaces around Chicago. I'm also known as Black Science. I'm a mentor, construction worker, barber, man, before anything, right? And one thing, that I would hope that y'all get after looking at these clips and having a conversation with us, man, is that Chicago still got hope.
Thanks, Jamel. Yassine, would you introduce yourself to the people and tell them what you hope that they get from this experience?
Okay, first of all, peace and blessings. Thank you for watching and hearing us out. My name is Jeremiah Frederick, known as Yassine. And part of what I really want initially for the audience to get out of this is, accountability, and that's, anything is possible, and to remain steadfast in whatever you're doing. Don't give up. Don't be quick to fold on the press. Remain steadfast.
Thank you, Yassine. We're glad to have both of you, honored to have both of you here with us. Jamel, you kicked off the video with kind of an introduction. You set the scene right at the top of the video. And you talked a little bit about what we've heard about tonight, that it was an unusual journey from start to finish for the cohort. After we take a look at this, let's have a conversation about that.
Come for it.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of Chicago, of the world, or whoever it is that's listening, right? Peace and love. My name is Jamel Smaller. I'm an author here at ConTextos. I'm here in Chicago. I'm a part of Green Reentry at IMAN. I'm here to share with y'all a little bit, what we've been working on throughout the pandemic, in collaboration with ConTextos. Back in March of 2020, Lisa and Johnny, part of ConTextos team, came out to introduce ConTextos in the author circle to me and my peers at IMAN in the Green Reentry program. Initially, I was excited because I had been doing some, writing and things on my own, so this was a good opportunity for me to learn some new things, to possibly, get some guidance in that field. But shortly after the introduction, like after the very first, workshop, Corona came in, and with that, it shifted, part of my enthusiasm, because, getting locked down with the virtual things and stuff like that, it was hard to adjust. Also, it took some adjusting even to complete the programming, The stories that we originally were writing on paper, it had to take a new look, a new form, Even a view of ourselves being locked up, what I'm saying? Well, I don't even want to use the word locked up, but like being isolated, with just self or with, those close loved ones in our immediate family or in our household. It gave us opportunity to look at ourselves, look at others, look at the world around us, and better understand some things,
So Jamel, you said that, it gave you an opportunity to, kind of sit and think about some things, better understand some things. What are some things that you learned about yourself through this entire process? Because the timeline of COVID so far kind of overlapped with, as you mentioned, the process of going through Author Circle. So I'm wondering what you learned along the way.
I'm gonna start around about the author circle and then elaborate a little broader. But like, so the author circle immediately was a plus to me because, like, as I said, I was writing before while I was incarcerated. That's when I really started my writing journey. But it wasn't really until the author circle and meeting Lisa and Johnny that I started to really dive into it, or excuse me, dive into it, or really hone in on it. Most of it came from fear. So like being in the space and being able to be vulnerable and actually share my story and share my truths without the fear of being judged was a plus. I think one of the things that hurt though, especially going from like in a personal setting where, you know, we face to face with each other, it's a lot of hands-on, a lot of positive critique, transferring into, you know, the virtual world where you isolated you at home, you know, you may catch the Zoom if you got, you know, service and things of that nature, played a big role in like staying motivated, staying, you know, steadfast on the course. And so like for me, it was definitely difficult. But it also was a benefit because like who don't mind crying when they at home, you know what I mean? Or yelling into the pillow or something when they at home. So like being comfortable in your own home also allows you to open up a little more.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think we're all learning a lot about ourselves as we transition into new ways of doing things. I'm wondering if you'd mind sharing a little bit more about who you are as an author. I know that you write and you really write and you're working on some things. I was wondering if you'd mind sharing with us a little bit more about who you are in terms of your writing.
Okay, so I don't get asked this question often, right? So it took me some thinking. But overall, I think that I'm an honest, brave, and outspoken storyteller at the end of the day, right? But like, keep in mind too that like what comes from the heart reaches the heart. And so through my writing, through my stories, through my pain, through my laughter, through my love, like I try and give it raw and uncut. You know what I mean? And a lot of that came from, you know, just the raw and uncut lifestyle that I had to live, you know, the things that I had to deal with growing up. And so me sharing these things is not really to glorify it or even to shun it, but to give it the due credit to like, ultimately, these are the things that made me the man that I am, the person that I am. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I appreciate that, Jamal. Yassine, you not only told us about you in this video, but you also introduced us to your neighborhood and you showed us a taste of Inglewood by way of talking about you know, what keeps you motivated. We're going to take a look at that, and then I believe Johnny will have some questions for you on the other side.
All right. Brother Ephraim has, my mentor has made a huge difference in my life. I met him back next to Islam Mosque 10 years ago. Me and that brother both was coming out to visit to hear the minister. I never looked back since. I'll be sitting back like this.
I'm video recording, so we're gonna get it all.
Yeah.
With the food truck.
Food truck will be here every day. This is a black-owned business.
Okay,
You know,
that's
as
what's
you
up.
See, this is a platform where all black-owned businesses hustle from Racine all the way here to 630 House.
Okay, that's what's up.
Let me show you something else. Though. This is why I find peace over here. That's why I call this the session where we just came from Elijah's Garden. So everybody else call it Inglewood Square, but to me that's Elijah's Garden.
Why do you call it Elijah's Garden?
Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the man that I try to be like, and I find peace in his teaching. So whatever garden that I go and abide in, I find peace in that as well. So I nicknamed that to pay homage to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Okay.
Who am I inspiring? I don't really know. That's a good question. I mean, I inspire myself. I call myself trying to inspire my best friend, also my younger brother. But right now, I'm inspiring myself. I don't know who I'm touching right now.
Looking at this clip, it was important for you to sort of like highlight Inglewood and to, you know, sort of tell us a story about Inglewood. Why was that important for you?
Well, because you know, first of all, you know, Inglewood is not my immediate neighborhood that I grew up in or went to grammar school or even high school in. I've only been around Inglewood since 2014, to make the long story short. So when I first moved around there, you know, the media, social media, from other different parts of Chicago, Inglewood was deemed to be one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in America. When I first got around, I thought it was a joke. I actually laughed. And I actually beg to differ because, you know, I'm not an angel. I lived street life, and in that element, I say the East Side was the worst to survive through. But from that, for what I get out of that, they was basically saying, you know, Inglewood is pretty much like a wasteland with no life in it. You know, everybody around there is negative. So, and I beg to differ on that as well. You know, I actually met good people that stay around there. I'm friends with some brothers that stay on 64th of Marshall, to be exact. But those the dangerous parts, and they say, well, it's no good as this, you know. So I think that's what's most important. You know, Inglewood, it still had good in it. It got life in it. It's not what everybody else say it is. And so, I took it that you wanted to highlight Elijah's garden because of that, right? To sort of show this, to show the world, this, you know, to show Chicago what one of the hidden gems that they seem to be missing out on, right? That there's life in Inglewood. So can you talk to me more about Elijah's garden and that particular strip of Inglewood? Is known mostly known as Inglewood Square, but one of the conversations we talked about was like, you know, with Starbucks and, you know, how life has been during the pandemic in that area. And right. Then I noticed you highlighted like this little strip was like where the Black businesses come. So you want to talk some more about that? Well, the Black businesses, you know, from 63rd and Racine and to 63rd and Halsted, that's been around for some since like 2015 that I know of. The brothers and sisters that work there have been, you know, doing business right there. But what was the other question again, Johnny? No, I was just talking about like how you know, when you talked about Elijah's garden because it was life. You know, you talked about how folks view Inglewood as being dead, and then there's life. And when we think about gardens, we think about life. So right. Well, no, that only reminded me of what the minister teaches, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He teaches us, you know, we settle on the best part of things, and that's what in remembrance of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's what he teaches in his teaching. So anybody that goes to that mosque or anybody, you could be a street cat, it don't matter. You know, you go get something from that, and that's what I got from that. So when I say Elijah's garden, that's what I mean. You know, wherever you go, you give life to. So I gave life to that over there. That's why I chose to find peace at. And so, no farmer represents life. You know, we grow things. I'm an actual farmer. It's no coincidence. You know, when I'm doing it, it makes sense. It connects with everything that I got going. So, I mean, you know, when you get life, a whole neighborhood that's considered dead. You know, wherever when people come over there, they come over there, look down on Inglewood. Don't nobody come over there to try to lift the brothers and sisters over there. It's like everything is even spoken of, you know, the whole vibration or whatever. And so I think that's most important. That's really why I chose to touch on that. Like, it don't matter where you at, you can find peace. You can find peace, you know what I mean? If people could be locked up for over 20 years in the prison, you can find peace in the cell, you know, peace of mind while you incarcerated. I mean, you know. All right, I got one more question for you, Yasin. What has this experience been like for you? The whole Author Circle's experience, you know, going from in person one time to online to back in person to back online. Say that again. What has the Author Circle experience been like for you? The Aqua
in
Circle experience.
Mhm.
To be at first, you know, I was vulnerable, like anyone else was. I'm going to speak for myself. I mean, I was you know, hesitant, you know, fear of being vulnerable or being on the spotlight. So what it's been like for me being part of that is just something, you know, something new, more opportunity to tell my story. And
Thank you. Lisa, you went on this journey with me as we walked through Inglewood and had the opportunity to share in the circle with men of Iman. Do you have any questions that you want to ask either of the guys?
Absolutely, bless. When I think about, one of the things I love about Author Circle is that it is a distillation of what it means to be human, what it means to be alive and grow. And as human beings, we are constantly growing and changing and healing. And that's not because we're broken. It's not because we're wrong. It's not because we're off. It's because we're human beings and we're verbs. We're constantly moving and we're not linear in our growth. And I wondered, Jamel and Yassine, as you think about the journey of growth that we've all been on, certainly Johnny and I could sit back and looking through the window could point out ways that we've seen the entire circle grow or individuals grow. But most important is your perspective. You are experts in your own lives, as are each of us. And I wonder, what growth have you noticed in yourself or in other authors in the circle?
I'm gonna keep it short. I think the most growth that I've seen within myself is like my resilience, and not just like in the program or in the author circle, but like overall in life. Coming home from prison was rough after doing, you know, almost 10 years. So like adjusting and then readjusting because of COVID, it's like, it was a lot, but you know, perseverance. As far as like my peers and my brothers, you know, in the cohort, like every day I see some type of growth in them. The biggest thing that I see though, like on a day-to-day basis, is like the genuine love and concern that we have for each other, not just in the circle, but like outside on a day-to-day basis. And it's beautiful because we all from different neighborhoods, we all from different gangs, we all different ages. And you know what I'm saying? Like, we met with one common goal, and that was like ultimately to do something better with our lives, right? But in that, so much more came with it, you know what I mean? And day in, day out, the brothers that's in the space with me, you know, that's fighting to make it through virtue or whatever the case may be, like they show day in, day out that they love, you know what I'm saying, those around them, that is still love in their hearts, you know what I'm saying? Regardless of background.
Less. Yassine, do you want to share any thoughts in terms of your journey, in terms of what you've noticed in your own growth or the growth of the circle?
yeah. Well, I'm gonna just speak about myself first. The growth I noticed with my own growth. No, like I said, first when I first started off, I wasn't really as open, and maybe like the second month or third month in, I decided to open up. Then when I did that, you know, I still had problems. You know, what I mean, I still had this been a hell of a year. You know, but it helped me to solve certain problems, and I noticed that you know, I learned about myself when I stay, you know, when I stay on when I set a path and I stay on it. Whether it get easy, whether it get hard, you know, as long as I stay on it, I'll be all right. Also, my resilience. You know, I learned how resilient I am. You know, certain things I didn't notice about myself, my resilience, or what the root of my resilience, where it comes from. You know, why am I so resilient?
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
Look, only questions. Yes. I think about, it reminds me of something we talk about in Circle, is that when a flower doesn't bloom, we don't question or challenge the flower. We look at the environment. We feed and change the environment because every flower blooms. And I'm speaking to you certainly with your metaphor about growth. Is there anything that you think it would be helpful for us as the audience, as viewers of the video? We're getting snippets tonight, but of course there's a 1-hour video that we hope everyone is going to watch if they haven't already.
Okay.
Is there anything that you would want us to understand more about the environment in which you as a flower have grown?
Well, no, I'm a late bloomer. I'm a late bloomer, so that's another thing I learned about myself. Late bloomers, that's why I want people to look at a late bloomer. You know, some people look at late bloomers and say, "Oh, well, late bloomers is not good. You know, it's not a good crop or whatever." You know, but sometimes when it come to find out, late bloomers would be some of the best crops. Like for instance, you go to the top of a tree, that's the best apple. Not the best apple is not at the bottom of the tree. So I mean, most people would think, no, the first apple they see, that's the apple, that's the best apple. But same thing. So when you talk about a late bloomer, no, some people look at late bloomers like, okay, well, the late bloomer ain't gonna never catch up. Late bloomer go forever stay behind, you know. While the people that playing the rat race, that's winning or whatever, they appears to be winning, most people don't get that. So and I think that's speaking of a lot of people here, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
There was a question in the comments.
Okay, what's the
Dr.
question?
Moore that's asking.
Okay. What's the question again?
What brings me joy?
What brings me joy is being able to have balance, have balance. Balance bring me joy, or being able to see more upliftment when I see another brother or sister coming up, or that's a sign that, I look at it like that's a sign that I can come up, or that's a beginning of a change, so that's what brings me joy. Seeing Black-owned businesses, network, like what I see right there from 63rd and Racine to 63rd and Halsted. They old timers, but they work together though.
In the spirit of bringing joy and in the spirit of working together, we want to pivot for a moment and bring in another star of our constellation. Please know, everyone, that there's going to be a chance in just a few minutes to ask Jamel, Yassine, and the authors lots of questions. You're getting a taste of it now. But it is my pleasure and honor to introduce a human being that really is a living bridge that has helped Author Circle blossom in this circle and the last two at IMAN. A gentleman, a leader, an advocate, a guide, senior case manager of IMAN Green Reentry. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Jamali Ibrahim, and we are live time praying. There you are, Jamali. Much love. Welcome, welcome. Bless us. Share
Thank
your
you.
thoughts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate the warm welcome. It's an honor to be here with everybody. I appreciate those who are on for taking the time. Salute all the authors who shared. It's so see Yassine and Jamel, be the ones speaking and representing. They were both authors and writers, in their own right before these. So it's good to see them and acknowledge in that regard as well. This is our third intergenerational cohort. IMAN is very intentional around bringing, men who are reintegrating into society, to formerly incarcerated, with those younger men that are leading their life in a way, they need some community, they need some brotherhood. IMAN is very intentional about having the holistic piece. So ConTextos really, it's been great to kind of partner with them in that regard. Through our organizing work, through our arts and culture work, we've always known the importance and the power of sharing stories. Some of my best times are the greeting. There's always a greeting question, and it's like it gives you a moment to take it like a magnifying glass an insight into someone's life. And I salute the brothers. You know, Jamel is one, just exudes a lot of strength. You know, he's not afraid to be vulnerable in the space, and just really lives his truth. So I hold him up in that regard. Johnny and Lisa, you know, you all coming into space and kind of braving it out with us. You know, Johnny said we went from in person to Zoom, back in person, and now we on Zoom. And we had the Zoom hybrid in the middle where we like rolling a computer around. Now you think, and you know, this and that. So it's been a journey, you know, life comes with ups and downs. 2020 will definitely be one for the books, one to be remembered. But, you know, just on behalf of IMAN, it's been good to work with you all, to you know, work with your authors to share their stories. Please take a moment to watch the video. You know, this is like, again, it's just a little insight. We have 2 other books that were published from previous IMAN authors, our graduating class of 2018 and 2019. You can get a hard copy of. But yeah, I salute the team at IMAN, all those that play a supportive role. You know, behavioral health, I want to big them up. I see Natalie and Rachel on here. We really try to wrap ourselves around the guys. You know, I see some of our career partners on here. It's a pleasure and an honor working with them as well. And, you know, we're all just trying to find our place in making the world better, making Chicago better, making our communities better. And one of the big things that we see is just that sense of belonging and community and brotherhood that we're able to kind of foster in the space. You know, all of our men don't go on to work in construction, but they all have a love for the program, you know, and for the space and the organization. So yeah, I don't know if I said too much, if there's any specific questions, but it's a pleasure to be here with you all. I appreciate you for giving me a minute.
Blessings. Jamali, it wouldn't be Circle without you. You know that. So it wouldn't be Circle. You participated in every circle, the last 3 circles, every greeting, every writing, every analysis of text, support, and bless you for being here right now. Truly, truly. And I think, Jamali, and I could be wrong, but I think that we have at least 3 authors on the chat. I've seen Raekwon. So I just want to shout some big love. If everyone could please give it up for Raekwon, who is one of our authors that I see on the chat. I see Jahari on the chat, and I see Jody. So I see those authors. I pray I haven't missed somebody. I'm trying to multitask. But we love you and are so thrilled that you are here with us in this moment. And we're going to pivot now as we're rounding the corner and coming, you know, every circle is a beginning, middle, and end. We're turning the corner now. And I'd like to pass the mic to my dear friend and beloved colleague, a strong Capricorn, a woman who gets it done and who holds us up and holds us down. And Naima, our Director of Communications and Marketing. Naima, will you step into the circle and help lead us through some conversation and questions on behalf of those who have put questions in the chat and those on your heart and mind too?
Yes. Can you guys hear me? All right. So first of all, I want to say give yourselves a round of applause too for being here with us tonight. I know we're all zoomed out. This is probably Zoom number 1500 for most of us today, but we love you and appreciate you for sharing this space with us as we uplift and celebrate these amazing authors in their writing journey. So without further ado, I have some questions from our lovely audience for you, brothers. This one comes from Dr. Moore. What do you see beyond the horizon? So Jamel, Yassine, what do you see beyond the horizon?
Okay, beyond the horizon, I see endless opportunities. I mean, like, I know I'm the sole controller of my universe, of my cipher. So like, as long as I persevere and remain resilient and dedicated to the things that I want to achieve.
Yassine?
Yeah. What's ask it again? Horizon. What you say? What do I see as far as
What do you see beyond the horizon?
or what do I see beyond? Okay. Oh well, as long as you remain humble, patient, and steadfast, or just really if you remain dedicated to anything you're doing, anything you set your mind up to, or anything that you might be a part of. You might be in school, working. Your goal is to get a car, or whatever. Don't stop. Don't give up. Also, if the race is not to the swift, but it's the one that endure to the end. That's pretty much to sum up everything I'm saying. So, don't be so fast, to rush or to try to speed through things. It's not a race. Most people think it is, and like me, I used to go fast through things as opposed to just going through the process. I try to shortcut things, and the more you shortcut things, you mess up the process. So, yeah.
All right. We have another question. This one comes from Vera Lee. What are the hopes for your authentic writer's journeys? So what is the hope for your authentic writer's journeys? What's next for you?
For me, right now, I'm, trying to finish up this publication for my poem book titled Thoughts of a Damaged Mind, Man, and Heart, which I'll be doing through ConTextos. But like after that, I'm trying to like ultimately continue writing poetry. I got an urban novel that I wrote while I was in prison. I'm probably gonna get that, published. But ultimately just keep writing my poetry, keep sharing my truths. I want to kind of venture into the, spoken word a little bit more, and reach people.
Beautiful. Yassine, same for you.
What's the question?
What are the hopes for your authentic writer's journey? So what's next for you along this journey?
Oh well, to actually finish up my music, to really make my mind up if I'm going to drop a single or I'm going to drop my EP on my hip hop music that I do on the side, and also if I'm to get started on the writing of my own book that I wanted to write. But other than that, really looking forward, keeping up with what I learned this year. So getting my music out on the airways or creating me a social media platform for people to reach me, because I don't have that for my music, not only for my music, and connect that with my book as well once I write the book and release it.
Beautiful. We look forward to both of those. Both of them. All right. Next question comes from Brother IMAN. Has the pandemic impacted the themes or topics in your art?
Yeah, for sure. More directly, I guess. I mean, because I try and brush a broad stroke of material and topics when I write. But something about, living inside this pandemic, it definitely heightens, your emotions and for those that you love and like things that you hold dear. Not, you know what I'm saying? So like in that, for me, I definitely try to like perpetrate that through my work.
Yassine, same for you.
Okay. What?
Has the pandemic impacted the themes and topics in your art?
Yes, it has. It has a lot. Excuse me 1 second. The pandemic has affected, a lot was going on. It slowed up a lot of things. You know, opportunities that was in front of me, projects that was supposed to be completed got pushed back. So, but other than that, I use it to take advantage of certain things as well. Like I use it to look at I don't look at it as a loss. Like most people look at the pandemic as a loss. I look at it as an opportunity.
Perception is everything, right? Perspective, perception, where you stand, how you look at things.
Right.
So one last question for, there are several of us, I'm sure, in this room who have shared stories, and there's those of us who have chased stories, and we know the difficulty it is to get people to be vulnerable and to open up. How were you able to open yourselves up? How did you witness your brothers opening themselves up and being vulnerable along this process?
Okay, so vulnerability. I don't know. I started off being vulnerable. I'm just a different type of guy, I think. But like, as far as like what I seen and everybody else, it was a battle. Even times for me, it was a battle. It was times I had to like pimp off, go to the bathroom. I think I destroyed some property one time, just like because life be rough. You know what I mean? And if unchecked, if acknowledged, you know what I mean, things tend to erupt. So like day to day throughout our circles and our groups and our sessions with different, groups, whether it be behavioral health or CBI or, the author circle, day in, day out, we had opportunities, to show that vulnerability or, to overcome the fear of, what somebody else may think. I know it's a situation with one of my cohort members, Jerry, where he had came in class one day and, he had been missing for a while. So people was glad to see him, you know what I mean? And as he got to sharing, what was going on in his life, you know what I mean? He had to take a break because he was starting to sweat and he couldn't really get his words out, you know what I mean? And it was like some real life situations that was going on. And reflecting on that, I can remember a time and place where, a guy my color, my age, don't want to hear that from another guy. You know what I mean? And so knowing that and still being able to, put that out there, I was appreciative of it because now I know, I'm not the only one that's vulnerable. I'm not the only one that's facing it. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the things that I could appreciate others appreciating in my work because like, it showed me that I'm not the only one.
Yeah, same question for you. You want to chime in? How were you able to open yourself up and be vulnerable along this process? Or how did you witness your brothers open up along this process?
No, well, I witnessed, I witnessed some of the brothers, like Jamel, he came in doing it at first. He was one of the only few. Me and him was one of the only few that was doing it. Then after that, majority of the cohort decided to, slowly but surely open up. But what made me do it was, I remember when I was in the program last year and I flunked that opportunity. I didn't really take advantage of that last year. The other program was at something similar to this, to be vulnerable, to wake, to try to get some type of assistance. And so I decided I fought it. I fought it, I normally isolate myself. I'm normally an introvert. I'm not really much of a crowd person or people's person. I know how to blend in the crowd, network, as far as to do business with people on that aspect, but when it comes to mingling or interacting, I suck at that.
Well, again, I want to thank you guys for your bravery and for your honesty and your openness and your vulnerability along the way. Again, shameless plug, if you haven't watched the full digital memoir, please do. It's as good as turning a page in a book And with every page you turn, you pull back a different layer and get to know these guys and their stories. And I am so grateful to have gotten closer to you through your stories. With that, I'm gonna pass the mic to my colleague, Dimitri, to help wind us down.
Thanks, Naeem. Um, thank you guys for joining us. I'm positive that there's more that you want to hear. I'm sure that there are more stories that you want to dive into. I'm sure that you're going to want to keep up with us. And so there's several ways that you can do that. Of course, you can follow us on social media, on our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook. Or you can go to our website to learn about our programs, both past, current, and upcoming. You can also, wherever you listen to podcasts, tune into Complicating the Narrative. We are in our 3rd season, and so that means you can get caught up and see what you missed, but also join us as we talk about resilience in this 3rd season. We've also got coming up actually, sorry, back up a little bit. For anyone who hasn't seen this amazing video that we're talking about, where these guys really just tell their stories. If you didn't get that link when you registered for this, you'll be able to check that out on our YouTube page also. And in terms of upcoming programs, there is definitely a program that I'm really, really excited about. I'm going to be one of the facilitators. Dr. Moore, who asked the question, is going to be another one of those facilitators, and Johnny as well. It's called Into a Black Beyond. And it is a really exciting circle. Into Black Beyond is an intergenerational digital writing circle for all Black Chicagoans across all identities, which will explore topics relevant to this inflection point in history with an eye toward mutual growth and shared understanding. We invite applicants to pioneer a community of writers and thinkers. It's our very first time offering this program. Authors who join this program will receive a stipend to produce work that looks into and beyond the Black experience in Chicago. We'll dive into relevant topics by reading and viewing contemporary and historical voices while crafting individual narratives around these issues. And the application process for that is open right now through the 30th of this month. So if you are a Black person who has some aspirations to writing or not yet, go ahead and fill out an application if it sounds interesting to you. And we will see you guys soon. Lisa, I believe you have some words to help send us home.
Ooh. Bless, yes, part of my mute button. As we come to a close and circle, we close circle always with reflections and thoughts. And we want to absolutely prioritize gratitude. Gratitude for those who came before us, which is the reason that we are alive on earth now, physically, and also spiritually and intellectually and emotionally and creatively. We all are continuing the trajectory momentum of living legacies or legacies long ago. We give thanks for those who come after us, seen or unseen, that we can continue the journey and authoring the future as the future calls us to be more fully who we are and can be. I want to thank every single author. I want to remind every single author of Iman Circle that who you are matters and what you do matters. Special shout outs to Jamel and Yassine, who answered the charge, to Raekwon and to Jody and to Jahari, who are floating in the chat and in this immediate circle. Your courage, your compassion, your excellence is what makes this real, is what makes this happen. You are the heart and the nucleus of this extraordinary experience. I want to shout out everyone at Iman, starting first and foremost with Jamali, who is our living bridge and connection across years, across circles, across hearts, minds, and human beings. To other life coaches, Rafiki and Najim and Jaleel, the behind the scenes leadership of Sadia and Tinashe, and everyone in the Iman community who makes this possible, who have participated actively in circles and have not just talked about things, but have shown the way as mentors, guides, collaborators, and friends. I want to thank CRED and all of our support and funders who have made this possible, because we need resources to carve out and create the opportunities for us to make the invisible visible. And we thank you. And certainly want to thank the ConTextos team, my partner, Johnny Page, co-director, Dr. Moore, Naima, Grace, Deb, Khalif, Kate, Vanessa, Megan, you name it, stars new and old. And not to mention DGH, Dimitri Giovanni Hepburn, the humble giant behind this exposition. He took a written product that we've done and took us to a whole new world of creating a video. And Dimitri is the humble, modest artist who helped piece together the video memoirs that authors created. And we see you and love you and thank you, Dimitri. And last but not least, to everyone that's in the audience at this time, all of our supporters, every one of us have human beings that we've turned on when we turned to when we needed help, turned to when we needed inspiration. I want to thank everyone that's here. I see Richard Ramsey, my new friend. Richard, you're here from Canada. Cyron, we see you. Every one of us brings a village. Mark, Miss Muhammad, past partners and colleagues and future partners. We thank you and we love you. Miss Vera, we see you. We see so many. And of course, I forgot to mention the loves on the board that support us. We see you, Miss McCampbell and Tony, and thank you for supporting and guiding us. So much love. And I'm going to pass the mic to Johnny Page. Take it away, Johnny.
Yes, I want to, Lisa always ends with such eloquent words. It's hard to sort of like add on to that. But I want to thank you all for participating in this. But I want to specifically shout out and acknowledge each and every author who participated in this work. If you started and they didn't finish with us for whatever reasons, we want to make sure that they're acknowledged. Xavier, Tyrell, Lamont, Timothy, of course, Yasin, Larry, Raekwon, Ike, Akbar, Jahari, Jawan, Red Cloud, Paris, Terrence, Toby, Jody, Treyfair, Darius, Clifton, David, Emmanuel, Thomas, Kajada, Daniel, Dante, Jerry, Ricky, and a special, I want to give a true special shout out to these brothers who at some point they journeyed with us, whether it be in a past author circle or in this current author circle, but unfortunately, they didn't leave 20, they won't leave 2020 with us. So can we just have a quick moment of silence for Dre from Author Circle 2 at Iman, Shamari, Pierre, and Jaquan, all from this particular author circle. Blessings to those brothers, blessings to their family. If the feeling that you feel right now, take that feeling with you outside of this space. Share the videos. Dear Chicago, Men of Iman Speaks is a continuation in a series of Dear Chicago. You can go on our YouTube channel to find the other Dear Chicago projects. Dear Chicago CPS, which was letters from students in Chicago public schools. Dear Chicago Love Letters was from the people who do the work every day, who you don't often get a chance to hear from. And of course, Dear Chicago, the Men of Iman Speaks. So with that being said, if you do nothing else, my call to action to each and every one is share those videos, share this stuff with your networks, share this stuff with the people that wouldn't necessarily come to these types of events. Invite them, share the information, because as long as we're talking amongst ourselves, we're not getting anything done. Let's share it out. Jamel, Yasin, do you guys have any more questions? Or do you guys want to take a few more questions from the audience?
I'm open to it.
Or do you guys just have a final thought that you would like to that you want to give?
First the question and thought.
Well, we usually end in class with either sharing a closing word, thought, or emotion. So I guess I'm gonna start off. My closing thought and emotion is like, hope and resilience. Those would be my words and my, you know what I'm saying, my emotions. Like Chicago, you know, they talk so much about Chicago, and you know, sometimes we prove them right, sometimes we prove them wrong, whatever that is. But like at the end of the day, we can be so much better. We are so much better, especially us in this group, in this circle, in this brotherhood. And we know it. That's why we are. So let's continue to be resilient.
Right. Uh, I will share. Johnny, what was it again? You said, what would it have like to share? And
Just share a thought.
all right. Oh, to actually, you know, what you don't confront will control you, and also if you want to, you know, you want to try to give your all on whatever you're doing. You know, don't half-ass it, or you know, you put in half-ass, you know, results. I mean, half-ass work, you get half-ass results. So you can't expect to live $1 million life when you living every day to day. So
Once again, thank you, brothers. This has been amazing. Please follow us on all social media platforms, and go look at the full-length video. If you haven't had opportunity to watch the full-length video, please go watch it, share it in your networks. And thank you. Good night. Or as Russell Simmons would say, thank you for coming. Good night.
Bless. Good night.
On walk.